What's up, guys? Josh Galindo. We are here with another incredible episode on the Be Legendary podcast. We are joined with Robert Coomer from RCG Home Loans and my beautiful wife, Crystal Galindo, with Galindo Group Real Estate. We're going to cover a whole bunch of topics. I thought it was important to go over how Coomer operates at home on his private time, some fun stories that he has with his family, how he manages his family life, and then obviously we've got to talk real estate, loans, and what 2023 looked like and what we expect to see 2024. So stay tuned, enjoy the podcast, and here we go. Robert, wow, we are back doing another podcast, and what a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Than where we last did it.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling this one's going to be better.
I hope. I got to give, we're sitting here with Robert Coomer, RCG Loans. He is Galindo Group Real Estate's preferred lender, the saver of deals going bad, and a good friend of mine, and it's been a lot of fun to do business together and interact and have our families hang out. How long has it been now? What are we looking at? 10 years? Not 10 years. 6 years, 8 years?
I want to say 6 or 8 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
That's good. But the last time we had you here, we had built we were running out of space in our original space. Yeah. So we took one of the two bathrooms, removed the toilet, removed the sink, and built a social media room in there.
Yes.
Yep.
And and I remember we asked Coomer to come on the podcast, talk about like making things work.
Right.
And the two bathrooms share a wall.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
And so
I'm glad you forgot about it.
I'm so glad you forgot about it. The whole podcast, the agents are using the other bathroom, and it's just flush after flush.
Flush, door slam.
Door slam.
Door slam open, flush, door slam closed.
And Coomer's up against this wall like every time, like a little, like, and I'm just sitting there going, let's just get through this. And you're probably thinking like, what the fuck? Where am I?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're in a legit
look how cool this room is.
I know. We were all proud of it.
Good times, cool, man. I think when you and I met, we were in your first office, and you showed me around. This is day one. This is what my wife built, and it kind of took me through your story, and here we are.
Yeah. It's kind of good. Those grinding, those stories that have a little grind in them, give you an opportunity to talk about where we started and where we are.
Yeah.
You know, if we had started here, you wouldn't have that story.
Exactly.
So, Robert, how we doing?
Doing good, man. 2024, kind of woke up January 1st, and I said, there's no way I'm going to do 2023 again.
Oh, my gosh.
Just been committed to growth, committed to the vision, committed to the year, and seeking opportunity no matter where it is.
Yeah, that was a very interesting year.
I was going to say interesting is the perfect word for that year, because it was like so unpredictable, and I felt like a lot of it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, the 2023, it was unpredictable, I think, was the issue. Is you didn't know how to commit to something or double down on something or invest on something. Like everything had to be, a 30% commitment.
Yeah, it just, unpredictable is a great word. You just usually, you can kind of predict a path or where something's going.
Or see where it's going, yeah.
It was full of, I want to say surprises, but it was kind of boring surprises.
Yeah, no, none of the surprises were like, yay, another surprise. Coomer, did you get that surprise? He's like, yeah, I fucking got it. Yeah. I was like, yeah, me too, dog. That one sucked.
Like, that one I didn't want.
Yeah. No, I think, was something that I had to do to wrap my mind around last year was the Fed adjusts the Fed fund rate to either encourage investment or discourage investment. And if your occupation is an investor or entrepreneurial business, because you own RCG, you're beyond a loan officer. While that is stuff that you still do, you also own these branches and have to manage the whole operation side of it and the making money and beyond just processing and a loan and getting clients. Because I was sitting here kind of questioning me and myself and what I was so good for so many years. What went wrong, And then I had to kind of wake up and realize like the system and the playbook and the rule book that I'm forced to operate in America has been changed. And it wasn't me. It wasn't my skill level. It was the Fed saying, we are slowing everybody down.
Yep.
And so when I kind of accepted that instead of blaming myself, I was like, well, yeah, I guess it's working.
Yeah, it worked 100%. You know, they say leaders eat last. So, you know, it's hard, I think, as an entrepreneur to, you know, watch your teams eat and there's no bread left at the end of the day. So it really takes a lot of mental strength to get through that, because I think everybody has a selfish part of their brain. Well, if I just go to the side and do loans, then I can print money. But to keep your organization stood up and stick with the vision, I think that's where the mental toughness kicks in.
Tell me how applicable what he just said is.
Yes.
You know how many times I've thought that, Coomer?
Yeah.
I'm saying to myself, Crystal, let's just go flip 15 homes a year by ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
And then you don't need a whole team.
And we'll be just fine. And
yeah.
But it takes a tough mind to keep the team together.
Yeah.
And eat last, if at all.
Yep.
Right.
And you know, make other people a priority.
Pour into them, and because you spend all these years building out your vision and to, you know, pivot in the middle of difficult times, it just doesn't make sense for longevity.
Crazy. So what does 2024 look like?
2024, working super hard on recruiting, expanding our footprint, diversification, you know, home builders, deepening relationships, such as Galindo Group Real Estate, and just really focusing on how do I bring in the next 100 loans or 1,000 loans instead of one by one. So it's been good.
Do you know how many loans you did last year?
Last year,
is that a number you release?
yeah, it was like 2,980.
That's
loans.
insane. And so that's okay. What's an outrageous year?
Probably about 6,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy
wow.
cow.
Yeah. So
That's an unbelievable amount of loans.
Yeah, that creates some perspective too.
yeah,
And that's across how many states?
we're in 22 states.
Yeah.
We're licensed in 49, but we have physical presence in 22.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's important to communicate that, because I don't think a lot of people realize just how big your footprint is across the United States, let alone in Vegas.
Right.
Yeah, we kind of silent but deadly.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good for you. So, what other state was there a state that was a shining star last year? I'm just curious.
Nevada, Arizona, Washington were the three that were the biggest. I don't think anything shined last year, but our most productivity came out of those three states.
Yeah, they said that last year was the slowest real estate market since 2008.
Yeah.
You know, not prices, not in relation to prices, but in relation to volume.
Yeah, I actually thought 2008 was a little bit easier.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, I mean, people were just holding on to their 2% interest rates, or I mean, the difference between 2 and 8% in monthly payment, it just crushed affordability. So, I mean, there was so many factors that went into the slowdown.
All the politicians are. Did you read that recently? Are banging on the Fed to lower them?
Yeah,
like that just came out. I'm wondering if you'll listen.
It's an election year. You know, they usually try and go out on top. So we'll see what the year brings.
Yeah. It'll be quite interesting. Yeah. So outside of all the work stuff, what else do you do, Robert?
What else do I do? What don't I do? 5 kids, a beautiful wife at home, and you know, so we like to travel, boat. You know, got kids in soccer and you know, 2 in college. So it's a busy life.
That is a busy life.
What league is the kids in soccer?
They're in just rec.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just rec.
Yeah.
Got it. I felt like Albion for some reason, but I might have thought that because he's over in the Henderson area.
You probably thought that just because it was Henderson. It's probably the same one that Dylan plays in, my guess, because it's over there in Henderson.
What kind of commitment does that bring?
That's a whopping 1 day a week and 1 practice a week. But we actually just signed them up. There's a practice facility over near here where they're going 3 days a week for 1-on-1. I guess it's 2-on-1 because they're twins.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Trying to develop
on
their
this side of town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the name of it?
No, but I'll get it for you.
What's over here, honey?
Maybe it's like there's Invictus, there's Portugal.
Invictus.
Okay,
Yeah.
See,
yeah,
I
Invictus
figured
is a good, yeah.
There's only so many.
Right, there's a couple locations for Invictus.
Oh, okay.
One closed, but the one that Kennedy was going to, but there's other ones, I think.
Yeah. They have fun. They're enjoying it, and it's helping them develop their skills a little bit.
Yeah, that's great.
That one-on-one's huge for them, and
Yeah.
it creates so much confidence for them out on the field where they can actually implement what they learned, and they feel a little bit, emboldened by what they learned on the one-on-ones,
Yeah.
and then they apply it out there, and then if it works, I think it's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
I love watching the sports with the kids. It's one of our. It literally is like our second pastime outside of work at this stage.
Well, yeah, and I think it's funny because people ask me like, what do you like to do for fun? I'm like, watch my kids play soccer. I mean, I don't know. Like, I thoroughly enjoy it.
Me too.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really entertaining. I love them watching them like develop their skills and liking the competition. And when they try so hard and they lose and they cry, they care. I love it.
Do you have a social scene out there?
Yeah, I mean, we're friends with all the parents. The kids seem to join the same team over and over again. It's their third year in a row.
Yeah, that makes it easier.
Yeah.
That's what we've
and
learned.
that's good because then they can grow as a team.
Yeah, and they can
Yeah.
learn each other over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember kind of waking up going, oh, I miss my previous. I don't even know what that looked like.
Your
weekends,
previous life.
my previous life on the weekends with no soccer, but then I kind of observed what I was experiencing. I'm like, I got a whole social scene out here on the field.
Yeah.
You walk out on a weekend, you can say hi and hang out with 15 people.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can't get that like on a regular Saturday,
No.
Sunday.
No,
You know.
I forget what that life was.
Yeah.
You forget to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Got a
bet
lot of
because you
kids.
have older kids, so yeah, you've been in it longer.
So, what's your dynamic at home, if I may? Does the wife hold that fort down and you hold down the business side of it all, or do you participate in that, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, she holds down the fort for the most part, gets the homework done, and she's an amazing cook.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm not a good cook.
Yeah, so I'm the disciplinarian at work. She's the disciplinarian at home. And
Okay.
of course, I've always got her back, and we make sure we keep the kids in line together.
How long have you guys been married?
Been married 2010. So, God, we're 14 years.
Yeah.
Well, that'll throw somebody off. 2010.
I know,
I was
right?
like, this guy's been married 20 years. So 2010, 14 years.
14 years in June.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I had to think we just switched years,
Yeah, yeah.
We got married in 2011. So we
2011, yeah.
And did you have kids from another marriage or all five?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so the three big ones are from a previous.
So you have the two with this
Sarah.
one.
With Sarah.
Sarah. Okay.
Yeah, the youngest was 2 when we got together, so it puts it in perspective.
Yeah, no, that totally does.
Yeah.
Your daughter, right?
My son was 2, and then
Oh,
my
your son,
daughter's,
okay.
are a couple of years older.
I thought
than
your
him, but
daughter was the younger one for some reason, but
Yeah,
What a dynamic. It's just, I always wonder, like, how does Coomer's life run? When he gets home, is it like homework? Because I'll tell you, I get home and I don't, I'm there for them as a dad, and I'll just own that capacity. I'm not there I'll help sometimes with homework. Some of the homework, I'm like, I don't even remember how to do this shit. And,
some of their math
wait
is
until
like,
they get into like 4th grade. You're like,
yeah.
I'm like, I'm stumped too. I'm like, we're gonna need your mom for this
Yeah,
one.
Beckham's math, like multiplying fractions, dividing fractions. Josh was like, no.
right. Same here. My son's a junior in high school. I'm like, go talk to your mom.
Yeah.
Does she know how to figure it out?
Yeah, she does.
Isn't that
She
crazy?
does. Yeah.
I'm like, how do you girls still remember this stuff?
I don't think I remember it. I think that like it takes me a second and then I can catch on and then I'm good. It's like but I don't just look at it and like, no, like I have to figure it out and then like be like, okay, I know how to figure it out now.
I wonder if Coomer and I's crutch is that we're like, we know mom will come through for us if we need this.
100%.
So we're like,
Probably.
I'll try about 60%. And if I get stuck, it'll be like default to mom.
Yeah.
And then mom's like, I got nobody. This is all on me. I got to figure it out.
YouTube.
No, and a lot of their stuff is like on their Chromebooks now. Do your kids? Is
Yeah,
that
they
for
all
them
have
too?
Chromebooks.
Yeah. So Kennedy had one on her Chromebook. She was trying to figure out the math thing, and she had Josh and Beckham trying to help her. They're like, we have no idea. This sentence doesn't even make any sense. So then I'm reading it, and I'm like, oh, you need to restart the computer to refresh the browser because that's a code. It's not a sentence for a problem for you to fix. It's literally a code to show an image, but the image wasn't downloading.
Oh, I remember that one. We read that question 50 times.
Yeah,
and
it
then
wasn't
I'm like,
a
you
question,
got to go to
it
your
was
mom.
the code for the image.
Yeah,
That's so
It
funny.
wasn't even an accurate question. So what's big picture for you, Coomer? What? How long do you stay in this game? What does 10 years look like for you?
10 years is
Perfect world.
Probably about how long I have left. My oldest daughter's 21. She'll be 22 in April. So by the time the twins are 18, I'll be raising kids for 32 years, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's when I tap out and
And
move on to whatever's next.
What does that look like, though, for you? Are you, I'm going to enjoy my life, go to the gym for 3 hours a day, go to lunch, hang out with buddies, go home, go to sleep, repeat?
Yeah,
Or is it you stay in the grind at some point?
Probably both. I can't see myself fully retiring. I'll be that annoying business owner that shows up and stirs the pot and then leaves type of thing. Yeah, I don't think I could just fully get out of the game completely, but focus on investments and travel, spend good time with the wife and so forth.
Does she like to travel?
Yeah, she loves it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It's funny because some people don't. They don't care for it.
She loves being home too. You see, I go crazy if I'm home for a month straight. I need to get out of town, even if it's a 2-day trip to Arizona, just to change.
But
the scenery.
you travel for work too, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would imagine like being home for a whole month after you like travel a bunch for work. That's probably not.
No.
I'm not used to leaving all the time. So
Why do you say Arizona?
Just because that's where I travel most for work.
Okay. I didn't know if you like something about Arizona, or have you found ways, or have you found little spots that you do enjoy out there?
Yeah, I find spots that I enjoy, or just sometimes it's a breath of fresh air, just to change the scenery.
I remember when we went to Arizona, he told us, what is it, the Phoenician or what's it
Venetian.
called? Yeah.
It's a great hotel.
Is that the spot?
We did not stay there. But
How much is that place?
we got a
in
couple more years or more points to get before we stay there. But
Yeah.
How much is that a night? $1,000?
It's like $1,000 a night.
Yeah.
When I used to stay there, was $400 or $500, and everything doubled during COVID.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I really did.
I hate to say this because it's going to sound terrible, but I feel like that's like the going rate for something reasonable with the size of our families. Like even if we went and got an Airbnb, I don't think you get an Airbnb for $249 a night. And even if you did, between cleaning and fees and everything else.
No,
I mean, I
agree
feel
with
like
you there.
everything's a minimum of $500, and then it's probably really $700. So then to say $1,000, you're really not that. It's not that shocking.
It's not shocking, but I think that sometimes I guess it depends like where you're at and the amenities. So like if it's like on the beach, it's like easier to stomach than in Arizona where there's no beach, But I do love Arizona. Like
stare at the cactus.
yeah, right? Yeah.
I focus when I factor all that in. I say to myself, how much do I have to do on top of this $1,000 a night?
Right.
If $1,000 a night gets me a play area for the kids, easily accessible restaurants, bars, entertainment, all within one spot. Now I'm not paying for Ubers to move around. I'm not having to do reservations, and there's value to that ease. So I factor all that in when we start.
Yeah, like if it's a resort where you can kind of stay, it's worth it to pay the extra because you don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, my due is the resort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and that's same for us. I mean, now we have a couple out in college. Before, when they were all under 18, I mean, we needed a villa when we traveled.
Yeah,
you gotta have 3 bedrooms, and we brought the nanny because big kids want to do big kid things, and the twins were tiny. So
no, that's hard.
So now we're starting to we travel with the little ones and do like a once a year or twice a year family vacation instead of traveling circus yard. I remember our biggest trip, we had 16 suitcases because
Holy cow.
My twins are allergic to eggs, nuts, and shellfish. So my wife packed all the food for the whole trip.
Go, Sarah. Oh my gosh.
16 suitcases. I was like, babe, this is so embarrassing.
And who the hell managed all 16? You?
We brought our nanny. We had we took a car to the airport and they helped us offload the suitcases. But I just looked around. I'm like, oh my God. That was actually a trip where
Where'd you go?
we went to Cabo.
Okay.
And we flew home on
That is a
Christmas
complicated
Eve.
Cabo trip.
It was so it gets better. So
Okay.
fly home on Christmas Eve. Our flight is delayed out of Mexico.
Of course.
We land in Phoenix. We missed our flight. It was the last flight of the night. And my nanny starts crying, saying, I have to be home on Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm too tired to drive right now. We had been at it for like 12, 14 hours. So we ended up taking a private jet home.
Oh my God. That sounds so fun though. Was it like kind of
It
exciting?
was.
Oh, keep going. This is a great clip. Keep going.
A private jet home, and they had to FedEx. This was the 16 suitcase trip. They had to FedEx like 6 of our suitcases. One of my daughters, speaking of filming in the restroom, was sitting on the toilet in the back of the plane because it was a small 6-seater, and I think there's 8 of us. So it's quite the
That's
adventure.
unbelievable.
Gosh.
Yeah,
So from Phoenix?
from Phoenix.
Okay, so
here.
you got the flight to Phoenix, and then you private planed over to Vegas.
Yeah. It
Man.
was, and the pilot had his dad sitting next to him because it was Christmas Eve, and he wasn't planning on doing anything. My best friend's the president of Maverick, so he made a few phone calls and helped me bail out of that situation.
Oh my gosh. Well,
That's
that's
a
a
great
good best friend to
story.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a great friend to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of our bucket list items, and I thought we were going to pull it off. We just went to Cabo,
Yeah.
and I swear, if they could figure out this Cabo flight,
Oh, yeah.
It's not just Cabo, babe. It's Mexico because the last time was Cancun.
where we got stuck. Oh yeah, that's right. We weren't even in
Playa
Cabo.
del Carmen.
Yeah, there's always a hiccup. It feels like when we
Yeah.
go out there. Either the flight on the way out gets jammed up, or the flight on the way back gets jammed up.
Yeah.
But if they could figure that out to Cabo, we'll just
Yeah.
use that one
It's
because
2
only
hours.
It's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like we could go, hey dude, let's leave right now.
Buy a
And
beach house, be there in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Seriously, I think that'd be a great flight. But so our flights got all jammed up, and I'm Mr. Ambitious over here, ambitious and lofty thinking.
Yeah.
I'm like, babe, let me just see if I can get a private plane or something. I'm like,
okay.
if it's, I don't even know what I was thinking. I'm like thinking if it was $5,000, which wasn't even close.
No.
I was like, I'll squeeze the, and then maybe I can get, because our whole plane got wiped out.
Yeah.
So I'm
He's
like, maybe
I could get.
yeah, if I could
recruit-
solicit, some of these other guys to throw in. And yeah, dude, the quote came back. One quote was like 35,000, the other one was 45,000.
It was funny because I'm like listening to him on the phone. He's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like,
I'll have to call you back.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll let you know."
So I have a funnier Cabo story. Lucky, my Arizona trip was 5K. I think the minute you
No
cross,
way.
Oh,
yeah, the
wow.
minute you cross countries, that's where it gets like super
Pricey.
expensive customs and all that. But we went to Cabo last year. My son's passport was expired, and
Oh my gosh.
and I'd look it up, and my wife does research, and it says under 16 you can use a birth certificate. So we get there, and now we're probably down to 9 suitcases instead of 16. So we get to the airport, and the lady asked for Gavin's passport, and we're like, oh, here's his birth certificate. And after 5 minutes go by, and she's like, he's not getting on the plane. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's
Yeah.
not getting on the plane. You need a passport. I'm like, let me talk to your boss. I think I own this shit, and I don't. So they have me Google it, and it says you can arrive by foot or boat to Mexico, not by plane without a passport.
Okay.
So my wife's like, just book Hawaii or something. I'm like, Sarah, we booked a 2-week trip in a villa in Cabo. Take the twins, get on the flight. Don't worry about me. And so I called my assistant, made her book me a flight into San Diego because you can arrive by foot, cross the border by foot, forgot how much cash and how many watches I had in my backpack and my pocket, crossed by foot, Ubered to the airport, and took a domestic flight in Mexico to Cabo.
Bro, Coomer, that's a gangster
That's
story.
a
I looked at
Great
my
story.
son. He was 16 years old. I gave him his first Corona, and we drank a Corona in the limo.
That's a great.
And I was like, dude, that is what separates a top producer and entrepreneur from the regular
Absolutely.
everyday man is we just, start where you
Pivot.
are, use what you have, and do what you can. And my wife beat us there by 90 minutes. 90 minutes, yeah.
No way. Yeah, I thought you were just gonna say that you went to go get the passport where you could do it same day.
No.
That's way better.
No, we
goes,
were at
"No."
the airport. Like, they were boarding, and my wife's like trying to scurry the kids towards me. I'm like, go. This trip's paid for. We planned it a long time in advance. Like we're not.
Did
we're
you
not
know
giving
what
up.
your plan was
No.
when you told her to get on the plane? You're like, I'll just figure it out.
I had no clue. I called my buddy, the president of Maverick. I called my assistant, and I called Anya, and it just had everybody working on it at the same time for me. So
That is such a cool
So
story.
Vegas to San Diego.
yep. Then
Drove through.
Uber to the border, walk across the border, find another Uber to the airport, and then domestic flight from Tijuana to
But
Cabo
what an
San
amazing
Lucas.
like experience.
Oh, with
like
your
that was
boy?
probably like so special.
Yeah, we got there. It was like 10 minutes before the flight. And apparently in Mexico, they were still wearing masks last year. And so security's like, oh, do you have a mask? I'm like, no. And I'm like, flight leaves in like 10 minutes. So I'm running through this Mexican shopping mall. Do you have a mask? No. Do you have a mask? No. Do you have a mask? No. So
You're like,
finally
"Just
I
give me a
pull out
Nacho
$100
Libre."
bill and walk up to the security desk. I'm like, $100, I need 2 masks. And they're like, here you
Yeah,
go.
they found a
Oh
mask
my
real
gosh,
quick.
how funny.
We ran probably a mile to that airplane. Or it seemed like a mile, but we made it.
That's so funny.
And I heard that the flights are cheaper from Mexico to
Yeah,
Mexico.
it's like $200.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
But I mean, we had, we had to fly home the same exact way. So, you know, if you ever need to smuggle a kid out of the country, I'm good at it.
we could
I know
hire
how to do
Coomer.
it.
Yeah,
Man, that's a great
That's
story.
so funny.
isn't that cool?
You got any other good stories like that?
No, you know, speaking to the going stir crazy being in town, my wife and I, when we had big kids before twins, I used to come home and I'd be like, all right, it's Fuck It Friday. And we'd jump in the car and take the kids to Disneyland or, you know, but it would be like last minute. I'd call her, all right, 2 hours, pack your bag. Where are we going? I'm like, don't worry about it. We're just
Oh,
going
that's so
somewhere.
exciting.
Yeah,
Did she
so-
like that?
She liked it.
Yeah, I
Now-
don't know how it'd
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like I would like it, but I feel like I'd also
He
be
said
like,
older kids though,
Older kids, yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
probably you can't look at it through our lens because you know you can't avoid soccer games.
No, they
commitments,
were like
you know.
12, 11, and 8 or something. I
And
mean,
ready
it
to
was-
roll.
They were old enough that
Yeah.
that we were able to pull it off.
Yeah, grab 3 outfits, 1 pair of shoes, your
Yep.
toothbrush, and let's go.
Let's do it. Yeah,
That's,
we'd be home by
cool.
Sunday.
Man, I want to embrace Fuck It Fridays.
Yeah,
Babe, we could do Fuck It Fridays and we could just do a staycation. It'd be just as exciting.
We could.
Yeah.
I'd be like, babe, can we pick a place next to the fields
yeah, exactly.
so we don't have to wake up and
We're
drive?
staying at the Marriott,
sit tent.
JW Marriott.
A tent next to the field.
Yeah, right.
Our personal Cabo story, most recently, our flight gets delayed, and they tell us to get off the plane. We sit in this airport for 5 hours. In the second plane, they put us on. We circle the tarmac for 45 minutes. They go, oh, the pilot timed out. Get off the plane, and they hand us a DoubleTree
Oh God,
Hotel voucher.
hotel voucher.
in Mexico.
No, this
This
is
is
in
here.
Vegas. That's the best
Okay.
part of the story.
Oh God.
So I look at Crystal, aside from all the reservation stuff, they're supposed to arrive that day, and how do we rebook this, and how do we rebook our flight, and blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
it was such a pain in the
So
ass.
push all that aside. The funny part of the story is that Crystal and I are in Las Vegas, where we live. We're like, what do we go do? I'm like, let's go to Durango Station
Well, I
and go.
was like, I don't want to go home because it's like I'm already in vacation mode.
Yeah.
If we go home, I'm gonna be looking for the thing I couldn't find earlier, and then it's like then it feels like the whole day was wasted instead of making it like part of the trip.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so go on.
we're like 100% right. I don't want to go back and lay on my bed
Right.
and plug
Right.
my
You're
phone
on
into
vacation,
yeah,
yeah.
like I'm already
Yeah.
on vacation. On vacation. So we go to Durango Station, we eat at the steakhouse. We're all in like bummy, airplane clothes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
so we're like 4 minutes from my house, and we drive all the way back to DoubleTree and sleep in the DoubleTree next to
Yeah.
the airport.
That's funny.
Which was actually super cool because we didn't have to unpack our car. We didn't have to do anything. We took our toothbrushes in, went to sleep, woke up, brushed our teeth, got in the car, and we're like 4
And
minutes from the airport.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
airport was like 7 minutes away, so you didn't have to like budget for all that driving time. And
Is there direct from Vegas to Cabo now?
Yeah,
or
now there
it-
is.
There
But
is.
they got to
Southwest
figure it
or-
out.
it's
Okay.
Alaskan Air.
Got it.
And
but
the
that's the flight
airplanes
we
are-
were on. But
Yeah.
that's the one that got canceled.
And they're all 737s.
Nice.
No.
Doors blow off. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what the plane was.
That's funny.
That's a pretty funny Cabo story.
Yeah, that was really funny.
I don't have any really good stories. The only thing I could take away from what you just said is how special I think it would be to be able to show just how badass dad is in real time in front of my kid. And
Yeah, I don't think I thought I was badass. I was like, I just have to pull this off.
Yeah, you
were
figured
it's
out,
more
bud.
just like straight adrenaline. You're like, well, if I sit here on my ass Googling things, I'm not getting any closer to where I need to be. So, I
Right.
knew just something clicked immediately. I'm like, if I'm in Mexico, it's domestic. And so I just rolled with it.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I used to go to Mexico a lot. I used to drive through. I was very
Interesting.
aggressive, I guess, down there because
Ambitious.
I just used that
brave.
word already. Yeah, brave. You know, but this was probably 2005, 2006, 2004, 5, and 6. I'd get in my car. I'd drive down there alone. I'd go through Tijuana. I'd go through all the checkpoints and make my way to Ensenada. And I'm in like an Eclipse with like 20-inch chrome rims on it. You know, like just screaming dumb white guy driving down to Mexico. But I never had any issues for many years. I'd drive back and forth. And then one time I got stopped at a checkpoint and the federales were talking. And I spoke enough English or Spanish to understand what they were saying, but I never exposed that I spoke Spanish because I wanted to be able to hear what they were saying.
Right.
Right.
And I don't recall what it was, but I remember it wasn't good. And I think at that moment, I was like, I think this is probably the end of my, lofty
Mexico career.
Yeah, Mexico
Yeah.
going back and forth alone. Because I'm like, if something happens to me alone out here, and it was before like cell phones were and internet and GPS,
Yeah.
and I had to
Yeah.
memorize how to drive to Ensenada.
Yeah, I remember the second you'd cross the border, you'd have 0 cell service back then.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do remember that.
was like-
Yeah. And then AT&T finally adopted it, and that was like a huge deal.
Yeah.
Right.
And
you
but there
can-
was a time.
Yeah.
There was a time.
Yeah, I
you were
remember-
on your own.
We used to go to Rosarito.
Did you?
Not Ensenada, but
Rosarito always scared me a little bit. It seemed like it was a little bit more of a rougher Ensenada because it was so small.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I was just super young, and
As a
I'd go
kid.
with my friends, and
Yeah.
Well, Robert, I thought it was important to dive into a little bit more of who Robert Coomer is beyond
beyond.
this machine that can pump out 3,000 to 6,000 loans
Yeah,
a
that's
year.
crazy.
That's a staggering number. Is there anything else you want to touch on that you want to go into that we didn't get to go into?
No, just mindset. I feel like you have the same mindset as me and you too, Crystal, and in the fact that you have to look forward and not backwards. If we
Yeah.
dwell on yesterday, you're never going to be working on tomorrow. And so, I'm a big believer in mindset, not carrying baggage with me, and I start every day with a workout, and I think it's really important.
It's delusionally optimistic,
Yeah.
where every day I just wake up and I'm like, today's going to win.
Yep.
Today's going to be a winner. Today's going to be a winner. No matter how bad the next moment is, I reset into that mindset. I'm going to win today. I'm going to win today. Delusionally optimistic.
I
And
feel like when you're in that mindset of delusionally optimistic, like you just think you're gonna win, you think you're gonna win, you think you're gonna win, and then if you lose, you're back to thinking that you're gonna win. You
Yeah.
forgot you even lost.
Yeah.
Like it's like the Conor McGregor thing that we were talking about. I'm like, I didn't even realize he lost a fight before because he's always screaming he's gonna win and he's a winner. That I forgot even lost.
that solidified
Yeah.
that mindset for me. It kind of
Yeah.
took the mindset that I was practicing and created a term for it, which was after watching that McGregor documentary, is watching him. This guy was not a consistent winner. He won a
No.
lot of big fights.
Right.
One, he was an unbelievable marketer
Yeah.
and branding expert. But he legitimately believed he was going to win at every turn. And then if he lost, he was right back to believing he was going to win.
Yep.
And then the perception to the world was that McGregor was a winner at all times. But if you really looked at his record, it wasn't
He's
that.
not. Yeah. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
favorite was when he snapped his leg. I learned how that happened actually from a UFC fighter I was talking to. So right here, remember when he snapped his leg
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in the ring?
Yeah.
Right here, if you get kicked, it turns your whole foot off. That's what happened. So it turns your foot off, so you don't have
Have the bearings
like
to
I can
stand.
tell like where my foot's at right now
Right.
and react. When your foot turns off, like you don't have any feeling at all. So when he stepped, he had no clue that like any one of us could snap our leg like that if we stepped the right way.
Oh.
Well, he didn't know that he was stepping that way because they hit him. That's a tactic, I guess, is to hit right there, which turns off all feeling from that point down,
And
and that's how he snapped his leg.
Wow.
But the best part about that leg snapping was he was fucking on the ground going "fuck you" and talking shit while he was on the ground with his leg snapped, and he's talking shit. He went right back to winning. He's like, I'm going to figure out how to win in this moment.
Yeah,
You know?
it's important. It's important. A lot of people can't find that reset, or this is what you did to me yesterday, and optimism is important for success, I think.
It's all mindset.
Yep.
It's all mindset and being positive and leaving a positive legacy and encouraging positivity and really just suffocating negativity and around you and your own thoughts, suffocate it out.
Yeah.
And that's the only way, because it's so painful, the journey. If you stayed focused on any negative things that have happened or that could happen, you would tap out.
And I was gonna say it's debilitating. All it does is hinder like your growth.
Yeah, negative. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I don't know where I got it from, but I know, at least watching my family, it rubs off on the kids, and that's huge. So being able to teach that to the next generation it's an important lesson for confidence and to teach them, the tough lessons that we learned earlier on in our careers.
Where do your kids go to school here?
So my twins are actually in public school. There's this great little public school next to our house. My son's in Adelson, daughter's in UNLV, and second daughter just started at Paul Mitchell. She wants to do beauty. So
cool.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah, we're in that transition point. Our younger kids for elementary school went to a great public school next to our house.
Right.
And now we're kind of tossing around what's our next move for middle school.
Yeah, because Beckham's going to middle school. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm just playing with it. The universe will decide, but.
Yeah. Oh, for a while I had two in college. My son was in private school, and then the twins were in private preschool. That was a nice bill every month.
That's my concern.
That's his concern.
Yeah, I'm like, once you roll them into that system, at one point there's going to be, I think we did the math. It was for private school, for all of my kids to go to private school at a very reasonable private school, Faith Lutheran here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
In comparison to others, I think we're going to spend, assuming that that's the route we go, we'll spend somewhere between $350,000 and $400,000 over the length of the time.
Yeah.
Just for sixth grade to 12th, not even for all of it.
Yeah, frightening.
Yeah.
So I got to stay on the grind, I guess.
Yeah, it's one way to motivate, right?
Once they're out of the nest, man, I'm like, honey, how much money do we need a month to have a great time? She's going to go, this much.
Right.
I'm going to go, let's roll.
Yeah.
That's what I told my wife. Yeah. I'm like, when the twins graduate high school, I'm like, sell the big house and just get a place in Cabo, a place here.
Just split it up.
Around,
What do you need it all? All this is to create this incredible experience with my family and my friends and my children. But once those guys are grown, I don't need all that.
Yeah, just make it up as you go along.
Because I know I can take care of this and that.
Yep.
With minimal effort.
Exactly. And you only live so long. You don't want to be all old and tired when you take time to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, you start really thinking about that, I think, after 40. For me, that's what I'm feeling. That I'm 39. I'm feeling once you hit 40, you really start like remapping things out. It's like balls to the wall, all growth from 20 to 40, and then once you hit 40, you're like, shit, dude, how much more good health do I have if I go to 80 with great health? That's only 40 years left.
Yeah.
How do I map that 40 out? And then it really starts getting quite serious after that. You're like,
what was Frank saying? Was it Frank about taking years, adding years, and taking years off?
Sylvester Stallone documentary,
okay,
Netflix, great statement. He said from 0 to 40, it's all addition, and from 40 on, it's all subtraction.
Makes sense.
How many do I have left? How many do I have left?
Yeah.
How many do I have left?
Yeah.
So,
well, I always said from 0 to 40, it's, how hard can I push? How hard can I push? And now I notice that, I can say no to something because it's a little bit more about happiness or contentment than it is the opportunity.
complete sacrifice.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Because sometimes you're sacrificing your soul, your your
Yeah.
time.
Oh, I think we could
both.
both agree that our early days was complete sacrifice.
Yeah.
Soul, body, health,
Absolutely.
mentality, all of it. Just 100% sacrifice. I remember.
Yeah.
I'd be working so hard I could physically feel the pain and going, push through, push through.
Oh,
Now I have like PTSD around those moments where I'm like, I don't want to be in this space
Yeah.
again. Like I've been here, I've played this game.
Oh, I remember younger in my career, I would go home totally stressed out about a loan. I'd wake up with the solution for the loan at like 2:00 in the morning. I'd go straight into work at 2:00 in the morning because I didn't want to forget how to solve that loan, and I'd be waiting for my underwriter in the morning. But God, I don't want to do that.
You're like, I paid my dues.
Yeah.
Yeah, when your work's haunting your sleep.
Yeah.
All right, Coomer, good times. Thank you for being here. And let's just make sure that we're really clear. Robert Coomer, RCG Home Loans, one of the best lenders I've ever worked with in my career. And we trust and value you. And I think you should too.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Coomer.
much for having me.